Okay, here we go. And yeah, we're just waiting here for people to show up, but Sheila Wysocki's here with me. You can, I'll show you her in just a second. The famous Sheila Wysocki from here she is on the screen right there. From Without Warning. All right, but we're just waiting for people to show up.
So nobody's here.
There's two people now. There might be more.
Me and you.
It's just people that start typing that show up first.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I'll go back to the Without Warning shot again. All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, so how's the podcast been going and received so far? Let me turn down this music a little bit. All right, there you go. How's it been received so far?
It's done it better than I could have ever imagined. So we're hovering between 33 to 35 on the top 100 in our category.
Oh, that's excellent.
It is.
When I was watching today, or listening, I always say watching because I watch podcasts on YouTube all the time, which you should be doing too with your podcast. But yeah, when I listened to it, I thought it was incredible how you could actually hear all of the communications and recordings that you guys have made during the investigation, like the officer. I think his name was.
Chris Yarchuk.
Yeah, Chris Yarchuk. Yeah, I got it written down over here.
He's one of the heroes in this. You know, he immediately knew something wasn't right and hit the record button on his phone.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I was wondering, how did he get this recording? I mean, this was right then, right?
Right. It was as they were finding Lauren's body. He just felt like something wasn't right with the story he was being told.
Yeah, so if any of you are just tuning in and you haven't listened to him, that means you didn't do your homework, first of all. But if you haven't, then go listen to it. And it's a look that you're never really going to get to see from any other podcast that I've seen. All right, so it's one of a kind. All right, let's see how many people we got in there. All right, so pretty soon, I don't know if Dareen's in here. There she is. She's going to be the one that's going to find questions that people have and put them in. But something I was thinking, I can actually put this on the screen so you can actually see comments. See that? Can you see that? Or is it a little bit? Okay, right there, right next to your head. There you go.
It's right.
You can actually read them as they're coming by.
Well, I can't read anything. It's too small for me, Gray. I'm a little older than that.
Okay, forget it then. All right. I'll put
All right, so you just tell me. And besides being dyslexic, I'd rather you read to me.
All right. Yeah, so the thing is me and Sheila have been friends for, about 3 years now, maybe?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and so our conversation is going to be a little less, like it's on television and, structure. We're just going to communicate, and you guys can ask questions, and I'll see them in the comments. I'll ask her the question, and then we're going to talk about things, too. Like we can actually put on the screen some of the stuff that's being referred to, some of the images and so forth that are being referred to in the podcast. That sound fun?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, there was something that I wanted to talk about right away here was the, I'm going to open up the iTunes and play can I play a little portion of that audio?
Of course.
Because I think the audio on that you were just referring to, where he was recording, is really there's some crazy stuff in there. It was funny because the other officer was, wait, that doesn't make sense, and I was thinking the same thing. I actually laughed when he said that. So let me go find this. I had it open a minute ago, but we had to start over again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had some problems with the Skype image. So I wasn't able to set it up the way you're supposed to do it, so we're ad hocing this, all right? Let's see, without warning, right there.
This episode of Without Warning, the Lauren Agee
that's
case,
not the one,
is
but,
sponsored by Relax Wraps of Nashville,
Wait a
Tennessee.
second.
Friends will call her
What
either
was the one?
Taylor
What's the name of the
or
one?
Lauren.
Hold on.
It's called Death
The
Trap.
last time I talked to her was the Friday that she was going.
I think it's the
Oh,
one.
And she
you
had
have
stopped.
all
He has nothing
the
to do with it.
outtakes.
Friends will
No,
call
this-
her either
I think
Taylor
it's this one right here.
or Lauren.
Okay, hold on.
From a distance, you saw bright pink and black.
yeah, hold
and
on.
Upon getting closer,
Okay. Yeah, so it's the one. The second episode is where I want to
Oh,
discuss some
I'm
of that.
sorry. Then he had nothing to do with it. So sorry.
And who is that referring to when it says that?
It is in the audio where Hannah, who is being taped, who was with Lauren that weekend, and she's referring to Lauren's ex-boyfriend, Clint. Good question, by the way. No one else has picked up on that. And she said he had nothing to do with it. And we pulled that out because it actually, good question, Gray. It's a teaser for what's coming up.
Okay, that wasn't a setup, all right?
No, and
Literally-
I'm so shocked because you and I hadn't talked about that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play some of this audio, and we can all listen to it. It's on the dock. I think it's when the body is being brought back to the dock. I can't really make out, but it's hard to say when they're being.
It's when it's being discovered, and I can set this up. So Hannah was on the dock, and one of the workers, who we will hear an interview from her later on, knew Hannah was with Lauren, went to get Hannah, and Chris Yarchuk also knew Hannah was with Lauren, and they took her onto a pontoon boat. And what your listeners, since they're getting this insight, what they need to listen to, depending on how much you're going to play, is who else is talking in the background and what Hannah is saying.
Yeah, I did hear a comment in the background that I was going to mention, but I'd have to remember where it was. But what Hannah was saying was crazy. I mean, I was starting to put down a chart of what she was talking about, and it just like she contradicted herself right in the middle of it. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. So let me. I want to put this on a different screen so we don't have to. How about this one? While we're listening to the audio, hold on.
We walked all the way down, got in the canoe, and went out.
Okay.
And she was fine.
Y'all
She
went to
all
the, y'all
went
slept
up
in the
and-
tent, all of you together, four of you?
No, us two slept in a tent, and her and Chris slept in, like a hammock.
Yeah. And
And
which
he
one's
said when he
Chris?
How about I'll play the whole part?
So y'all all went up there together?
Yes.
Okay.
See right
And it was
there.
2 o'clock?
See right there, she says you all went up there together, right? So,
up to the tent, got the ID,
okay, let's just do
went
this
back
part.
down. Aaron and Chris were in a boat with Harry.
Sorry, this is part
and
of
Ryan.
another part.
And I had a TWA officer take me to Hannah immediately, and that's when I audio taped on my iPhone our conversation on the front of the houseboat.
Genius.
I
Where'd
know.
y'all sleep at, or where were y'all at? So all y'all, and your boyfriend and the dog and that other guy?
Everybody was up there, yeah.
So y'all all went up there together?
Yes.
Okay. And it was at 2 o'clock? Yeah, that was just
I
when we
mean,
were shut down.
when she bummed a cigarette from you,
Yeah.
that's when we came back here.
Yeah. Okay. What's this ex-boyfriend that she run into or whatever?
But she has he has a new girlfriend. He
Right.
has nothing to do with it. But
See, right there.
One of
Yeah.
the guys said that she tried to talk to him or they're fighting or
I
he
thought
pushed
that
her
was the
away
moment
or
you were
walked away
referring
from
to.
her or
well, she said
Yep.
that she went
I didn't know what
up
it meant,
in front of
though.
them, but
Yeah.
she's full of drama. So
Okay.
That's what I mean, just being around it today and hearing, that's what I heard too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't even down there last night, but that's what I heard
Yeah.
this morning too.
Okay.
That she had,
How many
But
of
I
y'all
asked the
slept up there
boyfriend
last
if
night?
4 of us.
So your boyfriend, the dog, that other cat with the long blonde hair,
Yeah, and her.
and y'all, would you canoe over there? Okay.
And she was fine.
y'all
She
went to
all
the, y'all
went up
slept in the
and-
tent, all of you together, four of you?
No, us two slept in a tent, and her and Chris slept in like a
Yeah, see that see, that part right there is weird, right? Because she's already saying that they all went over there, then they went up, and she even described where they all slept, right? But later, she doesn't even seem like she remembered saying that sentence.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty bizarre. So I'll keep playing that part.
Yeah.
And
which
he
one's
said
Chris?
when he woke up, blonde hair.
The guy that was wearing like the Bieber hair, swishy blonde.
Probably.
Your
yeah.
boyfriend's
'Cause I
got the
was
longer hair, right?
Yeah, you saw me
Yeah.
with him.
Okay.
The fully tatted guys, Chris.
Yeah.
Skinnier,
Yeah.
fully tatted. That's
Tall.
Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
So
us
him and
four,
her slept in a what?
a hammock. And he said,
Oh, okay.
I woke up and I woke him up and I said, "Where's Lauren?" And he said, "She got up a while ago." He was like, "But I didn't feel her or anything, but she had gotten up." And I said, "Okay, have you seen her since?" And he said, "No." And I asked how long. He said he wasn't sure because, we'd been drinking, obviously, so we were laying in our hammocks and tents and stuff. And
Did you guys go to a houseboat after, or walk the dock, or do anything after you left the bar?
when we left the bar, when you last saw her, we walked
Yeah.
all the way down, got in the canoe, and went up there.
Okay.
And she was fine when we went.
Yeah.
I know she probably went to pee, but she didn't have her shoes. She
sounds
didn't have her
fake.
keys, wallet, phone.
Well, think about
She
this.
would
She
not
says-
leave.
Go ahead.
Okay, so she says she went to pee and she didn't have her shoes, her phone. Now keep playing it for the rest of it.
Out that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I know, I've known her since I was 10. Like,
Yeah.
I know she wouldn't leave without that.
Okay. All right. Well, EMS is over there, and the DeKalb County Sheriff's Department's over there. My jurisdiction stops right at that point, and so it's not out of my county. So we'll go see if we can make a positive ID. Did you have a shirt on that you know what color of shirt, or no? So
For
barefoot.
some reason, last I remember her, she had like a white jacket that was still up there. When I went up there, it was still up there. And she had a black tank top and pink shorts.
Okay.
But her jacket thingy was up there.
Okay.
So I think a black tank top, pink shorts is what she had,
Are you from
unless she
Henderson-
changed before with the evacuation.
Are you from Hendersonville also?
We live in the same neighborhood.
So the whole group came here together. Well, we don't know anything yet. We just have to
Y'all don't
wait.
know if she has pink shorts on.
I have not been over there.
What do we have to do? We have to go there and ID.
Oh no, we got an ID of hers.
Yeah, I went up with your boyfriend to the campsite.
They're
We got
over
a
there
DL.
right now, and we'll just have to wait.
Got it what?
We got her ID. So if it is or isn't, we can determine. When they
We don't know where you're.
EMS has to do whatever they're doing with the person
Oh, they do.
and all that. So that's all we know right now. They're just over there on the boat.
On which boat?
They're on a pontoon around the corner there, just where at the bottom by the rope.
Are we going over there?
No, not right
We're gonna
now.
hold tight.
Yeah,
And let's figure out what's going on. I can't imagine what you're feeling right now, and I'm really sorry.
So, what do you have anything to say about that part? Or there's another part coming up where she describes the something about a houseboat, and she just totally
Right.
starts mumbling around. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, are you going to play it, or do you want to talk about what she just said?
Well, you can. Yeah, it seemed like you had something you wanted to say about that part.
Oh, well, so think about this. So she went to the P area, and the P area, she doesn't have her shoes, she doesn't have anything, and she doesn't know what happened to her friend, but she hadn't been looking for her. Keep that in mind. She says she was, but we have witness after witness after witness saying she was out at Wakefest having a great old time.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, it sounds like the Yarchuk, he said that they came over right as the body was being discovered, saying, "Oh, well, our friend's missing," right?
Right.
Isn't that a little
right.
weird? That's a little strange. Like the whole day, you didn't even think about it when the keys and her purse, everything was left up there, and you thought she might have fallen off. You said that in the interview right there.
Right.
You thought maybe she fell off the cliff going to the bathroom, yet you didn't even report her missing for like literally.
You didn't know at all. She didn't report her missing because they found the body.
Right. Oh, I thought like Yarchuk said as they were driving up.
That was the two boys, Aaron Lilly and Chris Stout.
No,
That's who approached him, and they were they were over in a different boat with Ryan Malenza. I always get his last name wrong. With Ryan, he was a police officer, and he was talking to them. Right.
Okay, let me just get this last part out of the way, and then we'll go back to the chat and everything.
Her phone's still up there then?
Everything was in her phone.
Okay. Take some deep breaths. We don't know anything yet, you know? So.
It's pretty obvious. I wouldn't be on this boat if it weren't.
What do you mean?
Why you say that?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, coincidentally, my friend, I can't find her. And the whole time I'm worried, I'm like, she probably went to pee in the middle of the night and fell.
The whole time she's worried.
Right.
But then I went down and I heard she might have got on a houseboat, so I thought she'd be at Wakefest.
You notice how she keeps trying to get the falling off while peeing idea into their head?
Oh yeah.
Like
And then this is really important, the Evan thing that she says, because that'll come back in a few episodes to come. So that part, if you play that about Evan said.
Yeah, it's just coming up here.
Why would she have to stay there?
Because we had canoed back.
Like, what does that mean?
Just... We had actually gone up there, but she had said we canoed back, so I'm going to have to stay on a houseboat.
No, I didn't follow that. So
right.
Y'all came back
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right.
And
she thought we left her.
That's awesome.
Here at the campsite.
Yeah.
Okay.
She thought we had left her at the bar.
Okay.
And so
you left her at the bar, but you went over in a canoe. I
guess Evan said that she said that because we had left her, which we were just up at the car, we came back to the bar, that she's gonna have to stay on a houseboat. So I don't know if that was before or if that was after she last saw me. You know?
We all left together, so.
Yeah. She
See, that's the problem with her whole story is Chris Yarchuk was one of the witnesses that saw them get into a canoe and canoe all together over to the cliff.
Yeah, I'm going to put us back on the screen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, it's she made it sound like early that they all went over in a canoe, went up there, and then they went to bed. She even said what beds they're in. Now they're talking about something, she's saying something completely different than that within seconds, saying, oh, well, she thought it didn't even make sense, so I can't even repeat it. I actually sat there with a chart. I actually sat there with a chart with like buildings, and I kept trying to draw what she was saying, and I couldn't do it. You know, it was pretty crazy.
Well, and interesting enough, not that this is scientific or anything, but when she's trying to tell the story, how she speeds up. You notice she talks real fast through that story, as if you say it quick enough, no one really is going to notice.
Right. Just throwing in a bunch of little sound bites here and there. She wanted to get in it seemed like she wanted to get in her clothing, you know, even though she was asked that. And then also wanted to get in her idea of, well, I just thought maybe she went to the bathroom and fell off. Well, if you
didn't do anything about it.
Right, yeah. Well, you know, she probably rolled down and went swimming somewhere. Yeah, come on. I mean, that's ludicrous, right? So she's actually saying to the officer, I thought maybe she fell and died, but I didn't do anything. I just went
exactly.
Back. Right.
And let me just say this: had Chris Yarchuk not been the professional he was, and understanding that things were not adding up and turning on the phone, we wouldn't have this. She could now recant anything, but you can't take away the words you have on a recorder.
No, exactly. That was absolutely amazing. That's not even really...
He's one of my heroes in this story.
Yeah, I mean, is that really... Do they do that often, actually? I mean, that seems so fortuitous, you know?
He's such a good... Sorry, I had to get my dog off of here. He's such a good police officer, and he's so observant. And I say this, I don't say this lightly because it doesn't happen all the time in my cases, but he really is one of the heroes in this, and he is somebody who has taken a lot of heat for coming forward and telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, it sounds like because he's going against the grain of what the police in the town, the actual, what kind of an officer was he? Just like a local officer?
He was a sergeant, I think. He was, a local guy, local police officer. And soon after this case and him going public, he left that department.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, and so did Ryan. I mean, the heat that those two took, unbelievable.
Wow. All right. So, hey, does anybody have, after watching the episodes, do you have any questions? I don't know if Daro put some up above there, but do you have any questions right to Sheila? I haven't seen any just popping up. They're all making comments they're upset just like you are about it.
So give me some comments. I'd like to know what other people think.
Yeah. Let's see. So one part that was interesting that I heard was that let's see. Daro says, what does she think happened? Or can you not talk about it?
Well, they're going to have to listen to the episodes, and
Right.
and I'm not going to tell. I'm going to let the listeners decide what happened. One of the things I decided in this podcast is I'm not going to tell you what I think. I want the listener to make their own decision on what happened.
Yeah. And somebody just asked, let's see. Frazzled Cat said, were her injuries consistent with a fall from a cliff? And did she know how to swim? Yes, she knew how to swim. That was in the podcast.
She was a lifeguard.
Right.
And the answer to the first part of the question is no. The injuries were not consistent with the fall. And Gray, you've seen the autopsy pictures and the, when they first found her pictures. If you fell on your cement, if you fell on cement and skinned your knee, you would have more injuries than she did, basically. Now I'm exaggerating, so don't quote me on that. But the injuries were so insignificant.
Right. Let's see. I can show people. I actually had I have a file right here. Let's see if we can. So this one will take up the window that you're in a second. Here.
Okay,
But
good. I hate looking myself.
All right, let's see. So I'm not sure if this is the right one, but
That's a drone picture that,
Right.
so we went, part of the investigation was to go and look at so the person asking the question about the injuries, if you can fall through the trees and the brush and the rocks that are very jagged to the bottom of the cliff with the injuries Gray's going to show you, you'll be able to see for yourself.
I can actually show her injuries of the crime scene.
You can, as long as it's not a fully naked picture, please.
I mean, if she's like, even when she's floating in the water and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can show those.
Okay. All right, so here's the, that one didn't, it covers your face every time I play these.
It's okay. I don't mind that.
Yeah. So this is the edge of that, but they were just right up here, right?
Yeah. Well, and this is something that hasn't been discussed, but there were 2 campsites. So what the police looked at, they didn't process either campsite. Now look at the rocks, and it's pretty significant.
Okay, I'm opening up Google Earth here real quick, so if it takes
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. I'll fix it over.
Well, I was going to say that area you were just showing is close to the P area that she was worried that Lauren fell off of.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here up on the screen just so you can it's not the greatest representation. I mean, it's a good representation, but this outcrop looks a little different in real life, I think. That's close, though. So basically, they were camping right up here, right? Is that right?
Right. That's where they were camping.
And her hammock, or inu, whatever you call it, was right on this side, right?
Correct.
So that means if she fell
Now,
off on this side, like they're saying, she would have had to float all around into this second cove over here, right?
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And I want to point out something that was said in the tape. So, according to Hannah, she asked Chris where Lauren was, and he said she got up, but I didn't feel her. So, if anybody's ever been in one of those enus,
Right.
they are something that it kind of is like completely covers your body. So it's like a cocoon. You cannot get up out of that. And if I'm wrong, I need someone to tell me. You can't get up out of that with two people and not the second person not feel it.
Oh yeah, there's no way. Well, I know she got up. I just didn't feel it. Well, how that's crazy talk right there. How do you know she got up then? You watched her, but at that moment your body was paralyzed and couldn't feel anything? You know what I mean? Like he said, "Oh yeah, I watched her. I watched her get up. I know she got up, yet I didn't feel it, and she's right in this cocoon with me."
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense there. So what else we got here?
One other thing that you were just showing, so you and I did this when I first took the case, and you were helping me with it. From the campsite to where her body was found is about 600, what did we decide, 600 feet pretty much as the crow flies straight across.
Yeah, we can do it again. Let's see. Yeah.
It's about 600.
Yeah, 680 or something. But, I don't know exactly where she was camping, and I don't know exactly where her body was in this cove here.
Well, one of the things about that is, that's a great picture for what I'm about to say.
Okay.
So had she fallen in or even made it to the water, the way the current was, she should have floated into the first cove. That would have made sense. The second cove doesn't make sense.
But that's if she fell off this side, right?
Correct. But the enu's on the 90-foot side.
Right. See, that's where everything sort of falls apart a little bit. Because that's a cliff over there. So if she fell off that, how would she have gone like this? Because you guys said the current, you did some tests and it doesn't go.
We did a lot of tests. We did a whole bunch, and we talked to experts. So that's coming in other episodes that we'll get into the science of where she was found.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying I can show some of those images.
Yeah, just make sure they're.
Okay.
I want to be respectful. I know you do too.
Yeah. Let's see. Any more questions that I missed up there, so she can answer them while I'm looking for that folder? I didn't transfer that folder because I didn't think I was going to put those up. But let's see. Was there any marks on her head, or were there any marks on her head?
She, according to the autopsy, her death was blunt force trauma to the back of the head.
Let's see. Yeah, and the thing is you guys did a bunch of tests with dummies on the other side where she would have had to have fallen to have get into that cove, right?
Correct. We did, yeah, we had water dummies, we had regular dummies. I mean, when I take a case, I try to reenact what every witness tells me.
And is this kind of right, they were camped right above this, or is it to the left a little bit there?
You know what? I can't tell that picture. I'm sorry on my screen, Gray. I am so sorry.
Oh, that's the one where the cross is?
Oh, no, that's yeah, they were right above that. Her father put that cross up there, and somebody videotaped him doing it. It is heartbreaking.
Yeah. I don't know if I saw that. I might have though. Yeah, they were in a
it's
boat,
so
right?
heartbreaking.
Him and maybe some other guy were in a boat. Was that right?
Yes.
Okay, I think I saw that. All right. So, okay, crime scene images. Here we go. All right. So this is, I guess, literally.
Oh yeah.
On the
So
boat.
this is when they're finding her. This is TWRA. They are actually. What's interesting about this case is TWRA should have been the investigating agency, or the other problem is it should have gone to the feds because she was on federal land, and DeKalb County's the one that got it, and which is unfortunate. So those are the two rescue boats. And actually, can you go to the picture of the guy with the rubber boots on and the hook that he has in his hand?
Okay. I just realized that's why you couldn't see it, because it was still small. But now you can see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah, sorry about that. So when he's got his hook in his hand. Oh yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
got that
do you
one.
see that picture?
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
talking
I was
about?
gonna kind of slowly do a reveal though, because I don't want him to just jump straight to where there's
sorry.
No, I'm just saying if they saw it too quickly, maybe it's kind of shocking actually, because there she is floating right in the water.
Yep, there she's
And
floating.
those are shorts right there.
Now, notice, I want your viewers to notice they are what the guy who's about to get her out of the water, he has a long rod, and I want them to see what happens.
Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of go in. There she is, and so these are pictures just as they're showing up. So like here's one
Right.
here with those marks right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now this one's the only one that's significantly different.
Okay, this one is, to me, this is such an important, as an investigator and as a human being, there's a hook that they use to grab her body and pull her in. My personal opinion as a mother is, why the hell did they not just swim to her? Because number one, that hook's going to leave marks, so that's already contaminating her body and the evidence. And number two, it's so disrespectful. I am actually, you know what, Greg, I didn't think I'd be mad. I get so angry when I see that picture, and there's others that put me over the edge. But if your viewers are into crime scene and crime,
Yeah.
Stories, this is inexcusable, and it should never have been. Her body should never have been treated like this.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like
look-
she's a piece
yeah.
of garbage, honest to God.
Yeah, hook. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. And it does leave a mark, by the way.
And that's her back right there.
Yeah, so this is what's important is, and probably after this, I don't want to go into the other pictures.
Right. Yeah.
After this, but the person that asked about her injuries, so those, you're looking at it right there. Those are the most significant injuries on her body that would be a scrape of some sort. And so if you're going to fall off a 45 to 55 foot sloped cliff, you're going to tell me that's all you get?
Yeah, and you might get something like that had you fallen off the other side and scraped, but then you couldn't fall off the other side, right? I mean,
Correct.
because she couldn't have ended up where she was. So it's
Right,
like,
the current wouldn't take her to that side.
yeah. I mean, it seems like the other side's really steep, so it's maybe you could scrape something and hit your head onto something at the bottom, or I mean, I don't even know what, because it looks like you could just jump off and dive or something into the water.
But you can't, no matter how you play it, scientifically, you cannot end up in the cove she was found.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's why I'm saying. So even if you can explain, oh, well, that's what you'd get if you'd fallen off, perhaps, on the steep side, now where she's found doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
Let's see. And see, she's saying correct, everybody. I have a joke with Doreen. with the word correct. It's pretty funny, but I'll explain it to you later. Let's see.
So I want to hear what your viewers are saying. I mean, are
Yeah.
they? Do they feel like? What do they? I want to know what they're saying, Greg.
Yeah, let's see. Can the wrinkling on her skin help determine a time of death?
That is an excellent. Whoever asked that?
That was.
Who was that?
Danielle Birch.
Ah, Danielle, of course. she's part of CrimeCon. I
right.
should have known it was somebody from CrimeCon. Okay, so Danielle, yes, that is something that's really, really important. And if you look at her skin, if you stop there, Gray, go to that one the one right before it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back just a second.
Sorry, that is so funny.
I think it was this one.
Yeah, okay. So we're to believe that she's been in the body. We're to believe that she's been in the water for 12-ish hours. And, if you're in the bathtub, your body wrinkles a lot. And that's something to pay attention to going forward. But yes, that is something that you look at.
And I've seen the autopsy images, and again, it almost looks like it doesn't look like she was even in water, other than the fact that we know that she was, right at the end.
Right.
Let's see what else we got in here. Thanks, Sheila and Gray, for sharing. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Daro, do you got any more questions? Can you put them in there? Let's see. So she had to be at ground level. Well, I don't know if it had to be. You think she fell somewhere, right? I thought I heard you say that on
Yes.
Lorden's show.
I do. I've never disputed that there was a fall because of the autopsy results on her spine. So her spine was compressed. I have said all along there was a fall, and I believe we know where she fell, but it's definitely not off that cliff into the water.
Yeah. So I guess somebody wants to know, how did they get along? I'm assuming they're meaning Lauren with the other friends, or quote friends, that were up there. Do you know?
Yes. Well, this is through testimony, and I'm sorry, not testimony, through statements. I have many statements that said that Hannah was what is called a fair weather friend. When she didn't have a boyfriend, she would come back around to be Lauren's friend. I have many statements saying that she was jealous of Lauren. That I can't verify, but I have people saying that. And then as far as Chris goes, we have witnesses that said she kind of had that, that annoyed attitude towards him. And we do have video of her for a split second when he walks past her. So I would probably go with she was annoyed with him. And then as far as her and Aaron goes, there's no history that we know of, except for now people are saying that there was a history. I don't know I honestly don't know about her and Aaron.
All right. So right now on the screen, we're looking at, this is a high cliff, and you can actually probably just jump off of that for fun, right?
Yeah, but you have to clear it. And that's the 90-foot side, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, again, this is drone footage that I took.
Really
I
good
went out there
quality.
twice. Once around the period of, where it had the foliage, and then once in the winter where you could see from the drone down to the campsite. Plus, I went up there several times, more than I ever want to ever again.
Yeah. I actually remember you telling me about that a bunch of times.
Crawling on my hands and knees and my rear end to get up there. And by God, I did it because I would do anything to look at a crime scene. Now, I mean, look at the jagged rocks.
Yeah. See, and if you fell off this side, there aren't as many in the way as you fall. But like we've already discussed, you can't end up in that cove falling off that side. So you can look at that and go, oh, wow, she fell off on that side. But you have to sort of take that out of the equation. And then when you see the side that she would have had to sort of stump, wouldn't even be really falling. It'd be kind of like rolling and crashing into trees and rocks and branches. I think it was the Crime Watch Daily, right? They showed the test dummies. It never even made it into the water. Oh, no,
that was 2020.
2020, okay. It never even made it into the water.
No, and the interesting thing is how many times it had to the dummy was thrown over and over to try to get it to hit the water. So it wasn't just 1, 2, 3. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we took a buoy to see if that would even fall and hit the water, and that's light, and it never would. So, and we tried to have the dummy the size of her, but I think it was a 105-pound dummy, and she was about 115 pounds.
Okay. What kind of life what kind of life did Fairweather Friend have? That was by Dog Mother.
What kind of life?
I guess it's probably Hannah, maybe she's talking about.
Right, but as far as, 21-year-old, from what I understood, she worked at an attorney's office as a receptionist, I believe, at Vanderbilt. And she, typical 21-year-old, hanging out with that crowd, the Aaron Lilly crowd. So partying, I talked to an ex-boyfriend that said that they partied, and I don't know, I met her once. We have a puppy who is very unhappy, and you're going to hear him in the background. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I have a bell that the collar that my dog has. I have to take it off even before the shows because it'll just be, he won't move all day, but when I'm doing a live or something, he's running around. It's the craziest thing. Let's see. There was some other questions. Jojo had a question. Is there a dam above the river that causes the water level to move?
So I can answer that in an episode that we talk about the dam. And yes, I have someone who is a hydrologist, who's an expert, who is going to talk about the dam and the currents and the water flows. And I'll tell you, my eyes were glazing over the entire time he was talking. He was way over my head. So I cut to the chase and said, could she have ended up at that location on that day? And you'll have to hear the episode.
A teaser, everybody. A teaser. Let's see. Any more questions out there? I'm just trying to see if there's... says, do you think Felicia Marie said, do you think she could have died and then they pushed her off?
Okay, so she did die before she was in the water because no water in her lungs. I don't think she was pushed off at all. She didn't fall down that cliff, y'all, in my opinion.
Okay, but you think she fell, and when you think that, like, how does that, like, she didn't fall on her own is what you're saying, right? Like that.
So there are, again, I don't want to give it away, Gray. There's something to the campsite and where it was located, and yeah. I hate to be like that, but I want people to listen.
Yeah, you've got to watch the episodes and follow along, right? And these
They're getting more than anybody else, believe me.
when we're doing these question and answering, I think we're going to do them on other ones too. I mean, we'll probably get better and better as we go, right? This is the first time we've tried this. And the key is to actually have been listening to the episodes, because those are the questions she'll answer, is about the episodes. Like next week, when's the next one come out?
Every Thursday, an episode will come out, God willing.
So episode 3 next Thursday.
Yes.
Okay, and then when that one comes out, you can ask a question about anything from episode 1, 2, and 3. And then when 4 comes out, you can ask 1, 2, 3, and 4 questions.
Right.
But nothing into the future. If you've heard something else that isn't in those episodes, she probably won't be answering it because it's in one of the future episodes.
And one of the things that I'm trying to do by, showing actually using you and John Lorden as, an outlet, is because you guys have the audience that can look at the pictures and talk about it. I'm sorry, my dog is snoring. I have more than one. You all look and critique it for yourself, but I'm giving Gray's audience way more than anybody else.
Well, thank you.
Only because I work with Gray and I know how detailed he is. So I knew what I was getting myself into.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for me not to bust out a question that leads to something that you'll talk about later. I'll tell you that. I'm trying to see if there's any more videos in here that are... It's weird. There isn't really a drone shot. I haven't seen it. Well, this is kind of a photo that the drone took. Let me load this one up. It shows both coves. Oh, you know what? They're in a format that oh wow, that doesn't really just open right up right there. So it's hard to see that. But she was found over here, right?
Right, in the back part, right.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is the fishermen that found her, they, it was during Wakefest. Yeah, good. That's good picture. They shouldn't have, nobody should have been back there because Wakefest was going on. People were leaving because the competition was over, and these two fishermen decided, let's go. They're such great guys. Let's go fishing that day, and they decided to go in that cove. They shouldn't have been there, and I don't mean legally they shouldn't have been there. It's just with all the boats and everything, they shouldn't have been in there because it was a busy time.
Yeah, let's see. What day was it she wanted to go home, and approximately what time? So 25th, right? 25th.
We have tape, an interview with someone, on the episode, of someone who said that she wanted to go home at 10 on the 25th, which was a Saturday night. And then we have other witnesses that earlier during the day she asked if she could go home with them. And then one other witness saying that she asked if she could sleep with their group that night.
And it was Cara Baby Boomer who asked that question. All right, so you just what was that part? Okay, so that's what's weird too. She wanted to go home at 10, yet she later on is now in a hammock up on top of a bluff with somebody, right? I don't think so. That doesn't make sense at all. Somebody wants to go,
I don't know if, there's been a lot of episodes on this on 2020 and Crime Watch Daily, and I'll say that Crime Watch Daily did a much better, they gave more facts that were accurate and correct. And one of the things that was said, which is true, is that she wanted to go home, and Aaron and Hannah had taken her keys, so she couldn't leave. So I've been asked, why didn't she just get in her car and go? Well, she didn't have her keys.
Yeah, I'm just kind of opening up some other images here. Kind of stuck on this screen here. Sorry, it might be a second before I can figure out how to get out of here. All right, there you go. No, still can't get out of there. Okay, finally. God, it took me like 2 minutes to get out of that. Those images are DNG files that open up a software package that I don't use very often in the Adobe suite there. But let's see what else we got here for questions. Well, Vic said, Sheila, you're right. Crime Watch Daily did a really good job on the case. And
Is Vic with Crime Watch Daily? Because I miss them. I hate that they're not in syndication anymore.
No, Vic's one of my regular. He's one of my admins, or wrenches they're called. The people that have the wrench that can make choices to boot people out when they're.
Oh, that's hilarious.
When they're being rodeo clowns, is what I call them. Okay.
That's funny. Well, 2020 did. They spent a lot of time with us, and for whatever reason, the way they portrayed her, I felt like, was she was a party girl and she was drunk and probably fell off the cliff. And they used which I always think is hilarious. They used some guy who's a doctor to look at the photos and make a decision on what happened. And he's like, well, she could have fallen. Well, we are not disputing. She did fall. We have no problem saying that, but not off that cliff.
Yeah.
And so that kind of made it seem like, oh, we're not giving all the facts out. Well, in fact, it's a editor's decision that kind of swayed it that way. It was just, I was very disappointed in that. Okay, now that's a good picture. That picture is
Let's combine that with Google Earth. So where is this?
Okay.
Right there? That's what that is right there.
That's Oh, good job.
I know my brain now, with just looking at maps, I don't know what it is, but yeah, that's kind of weird. It's looking right at that, right? Okay.
Yes, and so you can see from their campsite the marina. And can you believe that that's where those kids were camping?
Yeah. Right there. Yeah, just it's so strange. They went up there, and what's weird is they actually had blow-up mattresses and tents, and apparently Lauren, who wanted to leave, ends up sleeping in an Inu with some guy that she barely even knew. Right?
And she was annoyed by, based on the accounts that we had gotten.
Yeah, I have my hand sticking out, like, incredulously, but I know nobody can see them. So I'm not even sure why I'm doing that. Just a second.
So again, I mean, just looking at that picture, Gray, even if she fell at all, she'd have more scrapes on her than...
Yeah, that's true. It's a sheer cliff that you can see out there, but it starts off not sheer. So had you fallen from her hammock, right, area, you'd have to hit a bunch of different rocks, and then you'd go down the straight cliff, right?
Right.
It's not like you would just miraculously have a scrape and then fall all the way down. I mean, it looks like she has a couple scrapes on her shoulder, neck area, and then I guess her head, right? But the rest of her, and maybe some on her knee and stuff like that, but I didn't really see that. I don't remember exact. I can't open up those images anyways, but I'll take a look at the autopsy images again, and so I can describe it better. I haven't looked at those in a while.
Well, I can tell you what the next episodes are going to be about. Is we're going to go into the background of who the campers are. So you won't need to get to the autopsy pictures for a little bit.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You probably don't even want to answer any questions related to what I just
Not yet.
Okay. Daro asked earlier above, did they do any lie detector tests on these people?
Excellent question, and the answer is no.
Oh, wow. Did they even think of doing that?
They did think of it. It was a passing thought.
Yeah. And then
But remember, the within 48 hours or 72 hours, the scenario before the autopsy, before anything came through, the police were saying she was drunk and fell off the cliff. So even without any evidence, they already had the what they felt like happened.
yeah, they wanted to see these back scratches closer up.
And I'd love to know what their thought is.
Yeah, so what do you guys think you're seeing there? Let me open up this one. I think this one has a little bit better.
Now remember, bruising stops when your heart stops. So once your heart is stopped, there's no more bruising. So all the bruising happened while she was alive.
Now what's interesting is that mark there and this one look almost absolutely the same. Just looking at that shot, I don't know if you can see that, but like that and that one are exactly the same angle, and I mean well, maybe not exactly. That one looks a little steeper, but you know what I'm saying? And it's weird too because it's at the bottom of both red spots.
Well, I know, so I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, okay.
If you're asking me.
Stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned.
They're going to hate this.
No. Yeah, but people just have questions. I sure do. Let's see. Why isn't she sunburnt? Ashleila Smith asked.
Hopefully she had suntan lotion on. She was pretty tan.
No, but why isn't she sunburned and she's floating around? I mean, that's a great question. She's in the water all day.
You meant
right?
overall the weekend.
Well, just think about it. She's in the water for, yeah.
Great observation. You know what?
That's a good one.
Thank you for that.
Right.
Because I've never even thought about that. So who is that person that said that?
I said her name. Hold on, I'll say it again. It was, I don't remember it in my brain. I just read it. Where is it? Jeez.
Well, type in your name again and take credit for that, because I had never ever thought of that. And you would think with all the tests and stuff I've done, man, that's a great observation.
Oh wait, burnt is the word I was looking for. I'm trying to find the name. Okay, it was Ashleila Smith said.
Okay, Leila Smith.
Ashleila.
Brilliant.
Ashleila.
Brilliant. Ashley. Okay. You're brilliant. Never thought of it, Gray.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a scientific reason, but I don't know. It seems like your skin still would burn. And if she's floating around for 2 hours.
12 hours?
Yeah. Or whatever. Yeah, I guess. Well, let's see. How long would it have been sunny? So if they found her at 4:30?
4:30 p.m.
So, you'd have to kind of figure out where the sun would come around. Like, did it hit in that cove and stuff like that? But if she floated around, then she's exposed for a long time. See, what's weird about this is, let's say she did drift over there. How long would it take to have made that full drift? You guys have all. It would take a long.
I've done it.
Okay, you can't answer that, but I'm just throwing it out there. But let's just say it's drifting and it takes a while to drift around. And it was, let's say, you'd think somebody would have seen her at some point if it's that slow. Now, if it's quicker than that, then no.
Well, that's the other interesting thing is one of the questions I asked the fishermen. So the fishermen, father and son, and luckily the son was an EMT. The father was just, he's the greatest man and just devastated by this. But the son, his name's Dylan, he was an EMT, so he knew not to touch the body, and the father wanted to go over and rescue her and everything. And the son has been a great resource of what the very first impressions of where her body was and how it got there. And if somebody could see those pink shorts in different parts of that marina.
So, like this shot right here, is this where her Inu was, or whatever you call it?
That's a great shot. Yes.
That's right where it was, huh?
Well, let me see where. Hold on. No, it was on the other side. This is the side that they said she fell.
Okay. Well, the side she fell was the cliff, right? Wasn't that's the side where she slept, right? The side where the cliff is.
So the Enus were okay. So if you were up on that campsite, you would take 3 strides to get to the other side. So you would just turn around, take 3 strides, and there would be a hammock between between those 2 trees on the other side.
So there's that one image that I had where you can see she's on a hammock with the blonde-haired guy. It was on I think it was on Crime Watch Daily, right?
Yeah, it was on that Friday night when they first got there. That's
right.
From her phone, her cell phone.
Okay. I have some of these images loaded up. All right, so like this one here, right?
That's one of them.
Okay, so it would be on, and who's this guy right here?
That's Aaron Lilly.
That's Aaron Lilly, okay.
And then sitting down, I want to kind of give your viewers what they're looking at. So sitting down is Hannah, and then Aaron Lilly is facing us. Now, what's interesting about that is those are when the police were up at the campsite. So basically, you're talking about a potential crime scene, and people are on the inside of the tape, is what I call it, not on the outside. So they're at the campsite while the police are there inside. And there's a potential of contaminating the scene.
So tell us more about the part that's in the podcast that we were just listening to, where he went up there first and saw her sandals with they were in a whole different spot, and then later all of a sudden, oh wow, they're right next to the tent.
So the interesting thing about Chris Yarchuk is how observant he is. And so when he was going up to the campsite, again, he met Aaron and Hannah Lauren the night before at the bar area and observed them and spoke to Lauren. He goes up to the campsite with Aaron. Aaron is going to the right, and Chris Yarchuk is thinking, I see an Eno over there. So he went to the left. To the left, there was an Enu and some chairs, and Lauren's, that's it. That is it. That's the Enu on the other side that you and I were just talking about. And so there was a chair. You can't see it, but it was right next to it. And her shoes and the coat, the white jacket that Hannah brought up, was draped over that chair. And so Chris took note of everything and then went to the right, which is where Aaron was. See, there you go. That's it.
That's a great shot right there. So
that is a great shot.
Which one is where's that bar? What's the name of that restaurant?
That's it. Fish Lips.
Right here?
Right there. That big blue
one?
Area.
Right there?
Oh, wait. No. Hang on. I need to get my bearings for a second.
It might be over here.
No, it's right there.
Okay.
It's with the big lights.
Okay. Wow. So you could actually see. I wonder if I could determine I bet I could on Google Earth exactly where this tree is and then where this was.
Oh, yeah.
Or even with your drone footage. I have
a picture of that spot from when we did 2020, because I was so terrified I would not move I'm afraid of heights. I wouldn't move from that area. I was just holding onto a tree, but I took a couple pictures I'll send you.
And so her shoes, I think these are them right here. I got those.
Yep, that's her shoes.
And now these are right in front of a tent or a sleeping, what's the deal?
Sleeping bag. And so that's when I went to interview Chris for the first time at the police station. I showed him these pictures, and he immediately realized that that's not where her shoes were when he went up there.
Wait a second. Was this a busted? Because there's a piece missing from it right there. You see that?
I can't, without having them, I'm not gonna guess.
Well, I can see the ground below it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And it looks like it would curve like this one. Same one, right? So if you had it curved around, looks like there's a chunk out of it. But I don't know if that's meaningful. It just might be something. And this one is really dirty compared to the other one. Although, you get your feet pretty dirty when you're walking around up there.
Right. And one of the things I want to point out is Lauren was a girly girl. She did not go without her shoes. That was one of the things over and over of her friends, that she liked to have shoes on. So the fact that someone thought she got up and went to the bathroom without her shoes on the rocky, it's rocky up there.
Yeah. It could be like what somebody just said, is mud and stuffing on it. Mud and grass on the sandal. Somebody just typed that in. Yeah, like why? If she always wears them, there's every single thing that she normally did was a red flag that, hey, something's wrong here. Like, oh my God, her shoes that she wear, she only goes places with shoes on. Her ID, her purse, everything's up here, and she's just missing. But let's not tell anybody till 5 o'clock.
Until the body is found. Not even tell anybody.
Like what are the odds of that?
Body's found.
Yeah, that's the coincidence that Hannah should have been talking about. I couldn't tell what she goes, oh, what a coincidence. And then it took her a while to say what the coincidence was. But I was thinking, yeah, that is a coincidence. That you guys just happened to be coming over right when the body is discovered. Oh, wow, she's missing. At the same moment, basically, right? All right. There's more questions, I think. One blue, one why is the one so dirty and one is so who knows? I just said it was more dirty. It's probably more dirty.
Here's something that's important about this, Gray. I can't answer that. Those shoes never came home to the family. Those shoes are gone. We don't know where those shoes are.
Right here, these ones. Wow.
Yeah, none of her things came back.
So I guess we'll never really get to know anything about those.
We don't have an idea, no.
Yeah. So what's this image right here?
That's just the campsite. That's just them, the setup of the campsite.
All right. Okay.
I do want to point out something, though. There sure were a lot of tarps at that location. Can't see them in that picture, but they're just piled up.
Yeah, it's almost like they were expecting it to be a monsoon.
Yeah.
Let's see. Listen, I'm sorry I brought up the thong. The thing is, I brought up the shoe. What do you call those things? Flip-flop?
Flip-flop.
Yeah, because the thing is you can't imply anything by looking at those. Yes, it's dirty up there. People are starting to wonder about, hey, some of the rivets are missing. Well, they're, you wear them around in the woods, they're going to come
what?
on. It's hard to.
We don't have them, so there's no speculating on it, and I won't speculate on something I can't physically see.
Yeah, and I don't like I only speculate on something when I see it. Right, that's exactly what you just said, like a fact, right? And then that's when I speculate on stuff. So once there's a fact and you see some things and then you speculate on that, then you're going to have a reasonable
conversation.
And a reasonable theory you can develop based on that. Right?
Hey, great. Let me ask a quick question. I need to go let my dog out for 2 seconds. Can you do something while I take these off and run and let him out?
You mean be by myself for 2 seconds? Yeah, I can.
2 seconds while I let the little puppy out. Hold on. All right, thanks.
Yeah. All right. See you in a minute. I'll see if I can get some questions. Let's see. What items did the family get back from the police? I'll ask her some of these when. Let's see. There's Andy making his jokes, man. That was right up there with that was a pretty good one there, Andy. Yeah, so I've seen the autopsy pictures, and she looks, I don't know. It doesn't seem like she fell off a cliff to me when you look at it. I'm just going to wait for her to come back, but keep typing in the questions. That's like tampering. Yeah. Hey, Jamie, that part that you just mentioned isn't in any of the, maybe it was in the first one. No, I don't remember. It wasn't mentioned in our podcast. But yes, they did discuss that on John Lorden's show. God, there's so many questions. Hey, Daro, have you seen any good questions in there that are easy just to find? Yeah, I don't know if it's that odd that one's clean and one isn't. The shoe. Hey, Kim, where did it mention that on the 2 podcasts? Must be one of Daro's friends. Let's see. There has been some questions. You need to move over to your left a little bit.
Me?
Yeah.
I was just getting in. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm in. Okay, now I'm back.
Okay. So maybe,
Sorry.
I don't know, how much more do you think you want to, I mean, we can do like 15 minutes, something like that? Or?
Okay, yeah, just 15 minutes would be great, because,
Okay.
Yeah, I got to walk the dogs and stuff.
Okay, some people
They're
said
meaty.
that marks on her back that we showed look like bite marks.
Interesting.
I'm not, I'm just,
I know you are why you are.
Okay.
I mean, you got a good group here, Gray. They're not.
Yeah,
they're very observant.
My viewers are the ones that stay around are the smart people. Okay, there's a lot of I do have some trolls that show up every once in a while. However, they like the way we do things. Let's see. So there was some other questions up there. Let me see if I can find them. Did she have any broken bones?
Yes, she did. What the medical examiner did document, and I say that, you'll know why later, were fingers.
Okay, and that was by Susan Ann Farm Girl 3973. Why not just have a paragraph as your name next time? All right, let's. That was a pretty long username there. Let's see.
The smart user.
Yeah, that's the thing is I realize that I use my real name. I'm not sure if I should have been doing that, but oh well. What items did Lauren's parents get back from the police?
That's a great question.
Okay,
and we'll go into it in another episode, but I'll tell you guys because this is public. So they did get her purse back. So they got her purse back and her phone was in there. But her clothing, sleeping bag, things like that did not come back.
And that was by Deb, that lazy lady. And that's not me describing her. That's her username. Okay.
That's cute.
Yeah. Let's see.
So I want to know how many of your listeners listened. I mean, did they listen to it, or are they hearing it for the first time here?
Yeah. Okay. Put a 1 if you actually listen to the episodes. Yeah. Did we hear Lauren's voice on the boat trip out there? It looks like everybody's putting 1.
Yes.
There. Most people are putting 1.
That was her.
Yeah.
So the voices you heard on there were Lauren and Hannah. And oh gosh, if you listen to the tape, I don't want to play it here. They can listen to it. The person that is, when the volume is right up on the phone, that's Lauren's voice, and you'll hear Lauren's voice. I think in the next episode we have Lauren, I can't remember now, talking in the next one. But I always say I don't have a lot of, even though I have a lot of audio of Lauren and video, I don't generally share that because I want to make sure people understand she can't talk anymore. Her voice is silent.
Yeah. That's a good point. That was when Hannah, somebody said a death trap. Was that Hannah?
Right. They're headed into a death trap.
Right. Let's see. When does the next one come out? Next Thursday. Looks like most people watched. Okay. How about this one? How many of you put a 2 if you watched both episodes or listened to them? Excuse me. I keep saying watch because we all watch the screen while the audio is playing. Let's see. It says Hannah and Aaron married. Is that
yes.
true? Okay.
They are married and they have a baby daughter.
And I heard on your everyone's typing in 2s. Someone typed in a 3, which means something.
Oh, there are 3 episodes. The one that kind of talks about how I got the case and my background.
Yeah, but that one wasn't really one of the
options.
Well, it's there, but it wasn't one of like the podcasts. Like these are 35 minutes, 37 type of thing.
Right.
Right. Let's see.
Please share it because I told Gray this. The whole point of doing these podcasts and these shows is for people to come forward. And within, what did I tell you, 4 hours of posting it, we have some witnesses that I've been trying to agree to meet with me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So it's the whole reason.
It's like crowdsourcing, right? That's the term.
Yeah, I am all about crowdsourcing, investigating. This is the way to do investigations. And one thing I always do say, and I definitely want to say, I'm not wanting anything to happen to any of the campers. I don't want people harassing them or contacting them. I just want witnesses to come forward to me.
Yeah, it sounds good. Danielle Birch asked, please ask, because I saw her type it in before, but I never got to it. So she said, please ask to make sure. It says, were there cameras at the bar or the dock facing the cliff?
Okay, can I say how brilliant she is one more time? Yeah. So that is the worst part about this. No, there were not cameras at that point. They have them up there now, but no, there were no cameras or video or anything. Everything we've gotten, again, from doing crowdsourcing, investigating, are from people that have heard it and didn't know there was something going on, and they have contacted me and turned over things to me. And we do have a few videos, some very important videos.
Oh, interesting. Let's see. Are the friends rich or politically connected? And Dareen's telling me that somebody asked that twice, but we didn't answer it. Or I didn't ask it, is what it was.
So I don't know their political connections, and I don't know their wealth. I do know that Aaron Lily's father, who has passed, was a songwriter, and there are royalties involved with that, but I don't know if they're rich. And Hannah's parents owned a restaurant, but they have closed that and moved. So I don't, their wealth status, I have no idea. It's not part of my investigation. Politically, no idea.
Yeah. Let's see. Somebody said, "Can I fast forward this?" I don't know how do you do that if you're live. You can't go into the,
So we're boring them.
We're not time travelers. Oh yeah, maybe
boring
that was a troll comment. Oh yeah, just another troll. Oh, okay, I see. How do I get out of this? How about this? Don't watch, okay, guys?
Right,
okay?
turn it off.
Yeah, it's an easy option for you. Let's see. Why do you think the young man said he was thinking of taking the officer's gun? See, that's crazy, right? That whole situation when he said that? Twice. Yeah. He said it twice. That was Aaron, right?
No, it was Chris.
Oh, that's right, Chris
So
Stout.
that, I've heard that, reported that it was Aaron, but in fact it was Chris Stout who said that twice. And that's also, why did he say it? Who the heck knows? He is not the sharpest tool in the box, I will tell you that. And I think he probably did want to get off that boat, and I think he probably did want to take the gun and get off the boat. So I don't think it was just playing around. I think he wanted the heck off that boat.
All right, well, somebody asked, it doesn't say the name, Daro said, someone asked, why do you think they moved to Florida? Yeah. Without giving away about 6 episodes. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they moved within a couple of weeks from Lauren's death. Why do I think they moved down there? I don't think they wanted to stay in Tennessee and have people question them.
Let's see. I'm going to get some more questions asked. Read more questions here. We got about 5 minutes left here, so... Said Chris seemed more forthcoming than Aaron. Is that by Cara Bababooner? That's just a baby boomer.
Is that a question, or is that
maybe
a
you
statement?
can maybe think of it as a question. Was he?
Okay.
It wasn't a written.
No.
Okay. Let's see. Did Lauren know much about Aaron from talking to Hannah by Rakachi? Did Lauren know much about Aaron from talking to Hannah?
So, okay, where these kids came from is Hendersonville, Tennessee. And it's a small community, and these kids generally were out in the boats, and there are places that they all hung out, bars and stuff. They all go to the same bars. They all go to the, on weekends, went to the boating areas. So they all knew each other. And Aaron's ex-girlfriend, who we'll hear from, knew Lauren. And so, they just knew each other.
Oh, there you are. You're on the screen again. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see if there's any more questions. We got about 2 minutes left. Lauren had only alcohol. Oh, look at that. Hey, maybe I should get Blue. Come here, Blue. Hey, you haven't seen Blue, right? Come here, Blue.
Competing dogs.
Come here, buddy. No, you haven't seen Blue, have you? Come here.
And my husband in the background.
Here, look, you're gonna like Blue. Look at.
I can't see you at all.
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I gotta get you a different shot here. Hold on. All right, here we go. See?
Wait, no, I can't see you.
Oh, you still can't see me?
Oh, so cute. Blue is cute.
Blue.
How old is Blue?
Like 6, maybe 6 or 7.
Belle is 14. We have the new puppy. She's a little over him.
Is that a Chihuahua though?
No, the new puppy's a Pomsky.
No, the one that you're holding.
Oh yeah, the one I'm holding is a Chihuahua.
Oh, cool. All right. Maybe they'll meet someday. Who knows?
When you come to visit.
Yeah. What was her blood alcohol level, legal limits, or highly intoxicated? That's what she's
She
asking.
she was according to the medical examiner, she was over the legal limit, and we will talk about that. That's an excellent question, and you need to listen to the science episode because we will discuss the factors that went into that.
And that was by Marissa S. Let me see if there's one last one. We're almost done here. Well, it's 6:28. We got 2 minutes. Let's see. What time was the group first seen on the day of Lauren's death?
On that morning before Wakefest, they were on the docks. So I asked timing, and it could anywhere from 7 to 8ish.
Okay, and then Janet, that was actually by Rocketchi again. And Janet Milton said, "Were any of the so-called friends tested for drugs or alcohol?"
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably not, just based on everything else. Let's see.
We'll be posting some of the things on my website, like their police statements and, just the little things that the police did.
Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, that's somebody that just subscribed.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, a little sound effect coming in. Yeah, well, thank you. Well, I think that's about it. Let me see. There's one last one coming out the window. What's the goal of the podcast?
The goal of the podcast has already been met. We're having witnesses come forward that we've been trying to get that are hearing for themselves in Hannah's own words, in Aaron's own words, and they're hearing it going, wait, that's not what happened, or wait, that's not what we were told. So that is the purpose of the podcast, is crowd investigating.
Wow, people keep subscribing. I think it was more meant to be what is the ultimate goal? Justice, probably, right?
Whatever justice looks like.
Right.
All I can do as an investigator is find out the truth. Other than that, I can't do anything else.
And you see, that's why her and I get along so well. We both believe that truth is what justice is.
That's right.
Right? And
that's why we get along. That's why John Lorden, you and I get along. That's all we want.
Yeah, it's just that if the facts lead to something, then that's what it is. If they don't,
whatever it is.
Right. And even if it doesn't support what you thought maybe what was it, that's what it is.
You know what I will say about this particular case is the twists and turns that it has taken as an investigator, I didn't see coming many, many times.
Yeah, well, this is what I'll say, too, is I remember early on when I was, at the very beginning, I was helping out on it a little bit, doing stuff, and then I kind of focused more on the Jonathan Cruz case, so I didn't really catch a lot of the in between, but you fill me in from time to time. I remember that, and I'd always say, well, I'm not that case seems harder, but now when you see all the things that they've uncovered throughout these years, it's like, wow, I see why you were so interested and so invested in it, because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't even have, I mean, hearing it right now in these podcasts, amazing.
Well, and I'll say that had this mother not had the strength to push forward, Grace, she has been treated like crap. I've never seen anything like it. And there's an episode talking about how she's been beaten up by law enforcement, the DA. The DA in this case and the sheriff in this case should be ashamed of their actions. And shame on them, and shame on any voter that votes for them, because you cannot treat families like this and find justice.
Yeah, it sucks. That's terrible. All right. Okay, there's one last one with a buzzer. Does Sheila and Lauren's parents agree with each other's investigation? Does Sheila and Lauren's parents? No, but I'm not sure what that means. Sheila's right here.
Yeah. Lauren's
I don't know if her parents have anything. I think what would they mean? Does Sheila and Lauren's parent agree with each? Okay, I think she's probably saying, Sheila, does Lauren's parents agree with each other in the investigation? It wasn't written like that, though. Well, I mean, does
Lauren's parents.
do they agree with the investigation?
Okay.
Yeah.
On doing it? I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
Like the whole overall overarching theme of it. I get, like what do they believe the same thing, kind of thing?
Oh, her mom and her biological father?
I think so. I think that's what they're asking.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure. So if I don't answer it the way you want, you can always text or whatever Gray does, email him.
Yeah.
And I'll answer it. But because I deal in facts only, the parents are only getting facts from me, and I doubt that they're going to disagree on the facts. I will say that we have had, some twists and turns that we didn't see and we've discussed, but I only deal in facts, so they really can't disagree with each other. They're very supportive of each other, and their stepfather, Mike Smith, is fantastic.
So they're on the same page.
Of course, they want to know the truth.
Right.
That's all these families want. I don't work for families that don't want to know the truth.
Right. No, I get it. And that's what we love about you. There you go. All right, everybody. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, Sheila. That was very nice of you. Maybe next time we'll try to condense it down. People, I think, know the format. They'll just bust out some questions right away, and we'll just start going. But this was a good one just to get some
test.
Sort of, and also get a feel for more of the stuff in the case, like what the cliff looked like.
Would it be better to have questions submitted beforehand, or to make it quicker for you guys, for your listeners?
Yeah, we could do that too. Like I could have a show the night before, or maybe even 2 or 3 days before, with my email address, and they can just email it in, and we can answer those first, and then maybe open it up to the chat. But I had let them know that that's what we're going to do, is just out of the chat. But I think what you're saying makes a lot more sense, because we could actually go through it and have an idea too.
I think maybe wait after we have 4 episodes that they probably need to listen through before we do this again.
Yeah, so like 2 more episodes, right? Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and
thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it. And I'll call you up in a few minutes, but you can hang up.
Okay.
I'll just say
right,
sign off
ya.
with these guys. All right, thanks.
I'm gonna get my dog. Bye.
All right, see you later. Thanks. Bye. Yeah. All right, everybody. I hope you guys had a good time. I thought that was a very interesting and informative interview, or question and answering session, if you will. I thought it was very kind of her to come on for that long of a time. We didn't actually get the Skype working the way it should, but I don't think it was really that bad, to be honest with you. So, again, thank you all for showing up. And we'll be doing this again maybe after a couple episodes. And until next time, everybody, be safe out there.